Hey guys, welcome to part 8 of my Windows Server training series. Today we're going to cover a Windows 11 VM creation, and we're also going to install RSAT tools on that VM. This is really a supplemental lesson because we're going to use this VM in a lot of future lessons to set group policies and a lot of other things we got going on. But let's get into what we're going to do. So RSAT is a quick overview. It's remote server administration tools. It's a set of tools that Microsoft gives you to manage Windows Server remotely. The main benefit is if you have the RSAT tools installed on your workstation, you're not having to remote into another server or each server individually to manage those. You can manage everything from the comfort of your workstation. You may have also run into a use case for installing RSAT if you have, let's say, a highly secure data center. Sometimes these will have a jump box with RSAT tools installed on them. But a couple of environments I've seen have this set up. It's not entirely common, but you do typically see it in more secure environments. So today in our lab, we're going to create a new Windows 11 VM, and we're going to install RSAT tools on it. We're going to give it a VM name. We're going to allow the IP address to be DHCP, and we're going to confirm that it's operating because we want to confirm that both of our scopes are working from the previous lesson that we configured. Finally, we're just going to install RSAT tools, and we're going to verify the functionality of them. And that's pretty much it. Let's hop right into our lab. All right, so over in our lab, I have a little bit of this pre-configured. I have the name, I have the base VM built out and the ISO mounted. But what I want to show you is with Windows 11 requiring TPM, we do have to go in here and enable Trusted Platform Module. And we're just going to click apply. We don't have to worry about encrypt state and virtual machine migration traffic because we're not going to do anything with that in this course, at least not yet. So let's go ahead and start. And this installation is going to be very similar to Windows Server that we've already covered. But we want to verify that now that we enabled the TPM, that the install is going to work correctly. If you do not do this, you're going to see an error message saying that the minimum requirements do not support Windows 11. And the whole reason you're seeing that is because Windows 11 does require a TPM to install, which is a bit of a bummer. There's some ways to work around that, but we're not going to go outside of Microsoft's official guidelines. All right, and we're going to kick it off. And as soon as it's done, we'll wrap back up. The install almost complete now. We're going to go ahead and name our device. And next. And while that's going, just so you're aware, one thing I left out during that little pause is I actually went into the settings and I disconnected the network adapter so I could get around the requirement of either joining to your work or using a Microsoft account for your Windows 11. So you will have to do that if you want to set it up with a local account. There's another workaround also where you can open up command prompt in the installer and run a command to reboot, but we'll cover that in the description. It's very easy to do. All right, so we're going to continue with limited setup. Give any name you want. Same password. And they are doing security questions now. So we're just going to fill in a bunch of bogus information. Because none of this is going to matter when we actually join to the domain anyway. And sure, we'll leave everything as default. And it's going to play us a little introduction. I'm going to pause and just go ahead and let this skip through. That took a little longer than anticipated, but we are finally at our Windows 11 home screen. So what we're going to do first thing is we're going to go and reconnect our network adapter. And this will also allow us to verify that DHCP is working properly. All right, perfect. So we have that 99.20, which is the very first address that we specified in our first range. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to test our secondary range on that separate network. So we're going to do 106. And now we're just going to do a quick release and renew. And perfect, there's our 106. So we know that both of those are working as anticipated. And we'll also show what that looks like in the DHCP management portal once we get RSAT installed. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go to advanced system settings and we're going to domain join this PC. We're just going to enter our domain name. Oh, it's looking like I may have fat fingered that password. Let's try that again. All right, perfect. So now we're a member of the domain, and this is going to automatically reboot. We'll resume as soon as it comes back up. Okay, so we're back with a freshly rebooted machine. We see that we are on the domain. Everything looks good there. So let's go ahead and go to our settings. We're going to search for optional features. And this is how we're actually going to install the RSAT tools. We're going to select View Features. And we're just going to search for RSAT. And we are going to select all of these. So anything that you see for RSAT, we're just going to go ahead and install it so we have the full suite of manageability tools. All right, so these may take a little bit to install. We're going to let them do their thing and we'll loop back up as soon as they're done. Okay, now that our RSAT tools are installed, we're going to go ahead and open them up. You can search for Windows Tools, click on that guy, and you'll notice that the RSAT tools are basically the tools that you already use on the servers to manage the various services. So we're going to find DHCP. Go ahead and maximize and make sure, yep, we have it pinned to the taskbar already. So we're going to add server, this authorized DHCP server since we only have one. And here's our management. So you're going to recognize this is the same exact interface from the server itself. There's no difference whatsoever. We also know that our DHCP scopes are working properly based off of those two addresses that we were previously able to pull. So what does that actually look like inside the DHCP console? Let's go ahead and expand our scopes, check our address leases. So there's the first one that we pulled. And there's the second one that we pulled, which is our current on the 106 network. It's pretty much going to cover this lesson. We're going to get into group policy objects next. But I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you'll catch me in the next lesson.